You're asking for that.
Be it from me to ignore you.
No,
deliberately.
Sorry, we look after each other anyway. There's only got one, so. But I'm going to be asking a question, and Deputy Wallace is going to be asking one as well. But I just have two questions, Ministers. Firstly, I would just like to know, Minister Hart said in your speech that you fully accept that the numbers of highly qualified nursing, midwifery and medical professionals leaving the country is an issue that should be thoroughly investigated. I'd like to know why it only should be thoroughly investigated now. This has been going on for years. You've known about it. Every government has known about it, but yet you still haven't investigated. I want to know why, because I think that's wrong. Also, then as well, I've noted what you've said in terms of the contributions and responses around the negotiations. Well, then why hasn't it happened? Why haven't you opened up the negotiations at this stage? And so I want to know what the answer is to that.
Minister, you were referring back to the Commission there, the Public Sector Pay Commission position. But is it not true that the Minister for Finance met the Commission on the 26th of October and instructed this is not a pay review, nor can it be? And my second question is, do you not accept at this stage that this issue, this problem, isn't going to be sorted without paying the nurses more money?
Yeah.
May I start?
Sure.
I'll start Liskin Corda, and Minister Donohoe will come in on the issue of the Pay Commission and his engagement, and the issue of the negotiations. But on Deputy Pringle's question about my comments in the opening statement about the need to do more to keep our student nurses when they become graduate nurses here in our own country. Well, we have taken a number of steps, and I know these have been acknowledged by the nursing unions. We obviously did establish the Public Service Pay Commission specifically to look at what could you do on recruitment and retention. We did specifically ask an independent body with union representation from ICTU, Impact and SIPTU, former personnel, to look at that issue. We've also tried to a number of other initiatives, including offering all our graduate student nurses full-time contracts. Clearly there is more to do, and let there be no misunderstanding. We want to have that conversation to resolve the dispute.
I'll just deal with the point that Deputy Pringle put to me and Deputy Wallace put to me in relation to the point that Deputy Pringle put to me regarding engagement to date. Deputy, there had been engagement to date. The Workplace Relations Commission have been involved and the Labour Court have been involved. And while it's obvious that it has not yielded outcomes that have been satisfactory to those who represent our nurses, otherwise we wouldn't be in the situation we're in, engagement has happened there, and preceding that there was the process of the Public Service Pay Commission that went on for the best part of, I think, a year in terms of trying to understand this issue, analyse it and then make recommendations. And they went through a very formidable piece of analysis which was far from easy in order to make the recommendations that they made. In relation to the two questions that Deputy Wallace put to me, yes, Deputy, I did meet the Public Service Pay Commission, that is correct. My understanding, though, is that all other participants and stakeholders in this process met them as well and made the submission to them. I went in, I met them. Well, I think it is appropriate, actually, that the Pay Commission do engage with stakeholders. I met them. Did I issue any direction to them regarding what to do? Absolutely not. They're independent. In fact, I have a experience of institutions that are independent of me, issuing recommendations that then cause significant consequences that I have to deal with as well. In relation to your point on pay, I guess one of the challenges of where we are is that the Public Service Pay Commission did issue recommendations in relation to pay that my appraisal at the time, the rest of the union movement would have understood there is a need for, and we could have implemented them in such a way without avoiding the vista of knock-on claims elsewhere. And in fairness to you, Deputy, you're the only speaker in this debate who acknowledged what that risk is and what the challenges could be for the government and for how we manage pay in our country and what can that mean for everything else. And the consequences are vast.
Thanks, Minister.